Hey guys, Crazy Kahzmoh here. This one's kind of just an addendum to some of the other stuff that I've done just for fun. First of all, before anybody comments on it, yes, I am wearing a Harry Potter Gryffindor Quidditch robe because I'm awesome. And yeah, so we can nip that one in the bud right here. So a lot of questions have been asked, and I've even seen lists of ridiculously stupid questions that have been asked about The Force Awakens. And so I started coming up with my own thoughts and questions as to things that don't make sense to me. So, I mean, there's certain stuff like, how does a planet move, even if it has a hyperdrive? And, how exactly does a star power a blaster that blows up planets? But, those are things that you can attribute to super science. Questions I have. Number one, Maz Kanatas is in possession of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. Now, this is the lightsaber that Anakin Skywalker built, lost, had retrieved by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi passed it on to Luke Skywalker, who lost it on Bespin. Now, we all remember how he lost it. He had his hand lopped off by Darth Vader, at which point both hand and lightsaber fall into Bespin, which, as I understand it, is a gas giant. I don't know how much, if any, solid land there is, so I have no idea how Maz Kanatas came by it, and that's a big question for me. Number two, Rey makes mention early on in the film, after leaving Jakku, when she sees Maz's planet, the name of which always escapes me. I do apologize for that. But she looks at it and says, I didn't know there was so much green in this entire galaxy. Thus leading us to believe she has never, or not since she got left there, has she left Jakku. My question then is for the writers of Star Wars The Force Awakens, why is it 2 scenes later when she ends up on Starkiller Base in the middle of a frickin' snowstorm, does she look at it like it's just business as usual? If she's never seen green before, I very highly doubt she's ever seen snow. So she should, at least in my personal opinion, have at least a moment of, oh my god, what is that stuff falling out of the sky? And while we're at it, somebody who came from a desert planet and has never been anywhere but a desert planet should not be running around in a tiny little outfit made of nothing more than gauze with the shoulders cut off for some reason, which seems to be a theme. I guess something about Rey, she loves her shoulders and loves to leave them uncovered. Another question. Now, this, of course, is probably due to continuity, but how many of you guys noticed Finn's disappearing blaster? Yeah, this is how that one works. So they go into Maz Kanatas' cantina, and during that, the exchange going on in there, Han Solo gives Finn a blaster rifle. Now, Finn, as we all know, decides to take off and not be a part of this anymore, and he goes to give the blaster back, and Han says, no, keep it, kid, you're going to need it. Whatever. So in the next scene, they go to leave, and there's an attack. Finn runs back in, still has the blaster rifle, right? Rey runs off, Maz Kanatas gives him the lightsaber, but there is no visual representation of what happens to the blaster rifle. Yet somehow, as he walks out the door, he's no longer carrying one because he has to say, oh my god, I need a weapon! And Maz looks at him and goes, you have one! And, he's got the lightsaber. So, obviously, he left the blaster rifle behind, no problem. He's scared, it doesn't make any sense, or it makes sense for him to have left it behind. However, what doesn't make sense is that a few scenes later, when he runs into Poe Dameron again, he's got the same freaking blaster rifle. So if he didn't leave it behind, why didn't he have it in the fight between him and TR-8TR? As we all know, saying traitor, but, I think it sounds cooler the other way. Secondly, if you're watching the sequence during Starkiller Base, I talked a little bit about my Starkiller Base things in my last video, but my question about this one is, when exactly did Finn let Rey borrow his coat? Because at one point, Rey's running around wearing Finn's leather jacket. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Obviously, Rey's got to be cold. Having been from a desert planet where she's never been in cold climates, she should be freaking freezing. But she's walking around fine. But then all of a sudden she gets a jacket. I'm like, okay, somebody finally realized, hey, Rey must be cold on a freezing cold planet. She needs a jacket. So let's have Finn give it to her because obviously, Finn's jonesing after her. But then a scene later, when they walk inside, Finn's wearing the jacket again and Rey's no longer wearing it. Doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me. I know it's all continuity issues and people keep telling me I need to forgive things like this. But hey, if you're going to take such control of every other aspect of the film, get your continuity right. Anyway, if you guys notice any other cool little things like that, or other mistakes or questions that you have, let me know. I might be able to answer some of them. I've done a lot of research on this, as I'm sure you guys can tell. I do obsessively large amounts of research on all things Star Wars. So, oh, and lastly, but not least, of course, I wanted to leave you guys with a bit of information I just read. Apparently, according to an article I read on Facebook, and I know, before you guys start ripping me a new one, I know that Facebook is not necessarily the greatest place for getting news, but apparently Andy Serkis has confirmed that Supreme Leader Snoke is Supreme Leader Snoke. He is not, he/she, because I personally don't think it's a he, but is not a character from the prequels, thus apparently quashing all the rumor that there is a possibility that he is Darth Plagueis. I still think there's a possibility that Supreme Leader Snoke plays a larger role in this movie than, or in this trilogy, than just Supreme Leader Snoke. I think that since Leia, as I said, since Leia specifically stated that Supreme Leader Snoke is the one that helped Ben fall to the dark side, he had to have been closer to the family than just a random ass character. Anyways, this has just been another crazy Kahzmoh diatribe. Anyways, like I said, if you like this stuff, like it. Give me the thumbs up. Give me the link if you really like it. Subscribe to me if you want to hear more of these. Don't if you don't. And hopefully I'll hear from you guys in a positive fashion. Talk to you later.